Hola controles, bienvenidos a su podcast El After. El de hoy tenemos un invitado muy especial. Les recuerdo que este podcast es en inglés, está subtitulado en plataformas como Facebook y YouTube. Hujaboy, how are you, my friend?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm very good. Very happy to be here again in Mexico City.
Oh, that's great, and welcome. And yesterday you make a killer performance with both of your projects.
Thank you, man. It was awesome. It was a great event.
Yeah, atmosphere was killer. I want to thank Omix for the opportunity for having you here and also the opportunity to make the podcast. And yesterday we had a great party. I played a little bit prior from you, but I had the opportunity to watch your two projects, and that was killer. And personally, when you play Hujaboy, wow, it was impressive. The bass, the power, the energy of the project. I really like it.
Thank you.
I didn't have the opportunity to watch you live. Only when I saw that you were coming, I like everything. I go into Spotify and watch the music, but it's very different when you see it live and see all the performance. So, my friend, but basically here we want to know your story, how you started into the psytrance, where you're from, what was your first approach that make you like be into this world, and the origin of both of your projects. So, if you can share to us your story.
Of course. Okay, so first of all, my name is Nir Shoshani. I'm originally from Jerusalem, Israel. And after that, I lived a few years in Tel Aviv, and now I live in Pardes Chana, which is a little bit north of Tel Aviv, like 50 minutes north. So it's more countryside. So my first electronic music experience was in 1992. Before trance was even called trance music, I think it's a little bit more before than that. I used to be in metal and even in a metal band for a while,
Like me.
like most of them, a lot of people from the scene. And then a friend of mine told me, "Hey, there's a nature party." I said, "What's a nature party?" I didn't even know what it is. He said, let's check it out. And we went into this beach area. And on the beach, people were dancing in front of fires, and this weird music was coming out of the speakers that I've never heard before. And these parties used to be called acid parties. You know why? And and yeah, that was the first time, and I was shocked. After we had a really good time, I told my friends, next time we have to go again and do the full shebang, do the whole thing. So the week after, we found another contact, and the scene in Israel, just to explain, was very small. Like the whole scene for the whole country was maybe 1,000 people maximum. Everybody. So there was only one party each weekend like that, and so we went to another one, and we did what we did, and then I felt the music inside my mind and my body and my consciousness, and for the first time a lot of good things happened to me because of this experience, because I was so dark in the metal and in all this kind of aggressive vibe, and plus I was like a teenager with all the hardships of being a teenager. I didn't see the beauty in life so much because I was really kind of dark. There was a darkness inside me, and in this experience, for the first time, I looked around and I saw all the beauty that I can see. The goodness of people, the good, the hugging, the beauty of nature. Everything like erupted out of me, and the music came in and took over. And then I understand that I love it. I'm hooked about it. So I started to go to parties in a club in Tel Aviv, which started to make a line from the music, and the DJs were Miko from California Sunshine, and a very talented guy called Guy Sabag, which is not in the scene anymore, but he used to be, and he used to do back-to-back with Avi Nissim for Master Projection.
Wow.
They're the DJs, the first big DJs that started the scene in Israel. And they used to play techno and sometimes house, but it was everything with a little bit of acid inside the music, and acid techno, of course. And this was actually the birth of the Israeli scene in those years between 90 and 94 when it should become really big after that. And I was going to parties. Every money that I had, I used to buy a ticket and go to a party and just go nuts, and collect the music on tapes. Back in the day, there were cassette tapes, so you can record the stuff, and it doesn't exist anymore, but it was what we had.
Yeah, a little bit of vintage.
Yeah, very, very vintage and bad quality also. But that's the way. That's not. And we didn't know where to get records and stuff. It was before the internet. So if you wanted music, you need to go buy it somewhere. If it's the records or CDs. Okay, so fast forward a few years. I went to the army, and I did like half of the service because I had some problems. And when I finished, I started saving money to go to India. And then I went to India, and I was already, 21, I think. Of course, I went to Goa for a while. In Goa, I went to all the parties. And I'm talking 1995, 1996. I was there, and I listened to a lot of music, and a lot of Israeli DJs and a lot of English DJs, and I came back from India very open spiritually and very calm and very happy person. It changed me a lot, but I was kind of disappointed from the music that I heard in Goa back in the day, because a lot of it was very, very cheesy for me. A lot of it was like a genre. There was the birth of a genre that I later didn't connect to, all the nitzchonot, if you heard about it. Very melodic, very childish kind of, and I was a little bit kind of disappointed. But I also heard a new style that blew my mind, and was the Goa trance of the English guys back in the day, all the Flying Rhino and Tip Records guys, so and Dino, Saras, and all these guys, which were blasting really amazing parties and great music. So I had also like the little bit disappointment and the future that to look up to, and so I came back to Israel. I had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend asked me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I was thinking, I knew it was music all the time. And I told her I want to be a DJ because I want to like change something. I want to show people that you don't have to be cheesy all the time to play, and the music can go into different directions. It can be hard, it can be darker, it can be stronger, it can suck you in, and not only like be light. So I started to collect music. I used to work as a messenger for some company, so I walked a lot in the main city in Jerusalem. So all the people from all the record shops knew me because I was there every day looking, what, do you have something new? I want to hear it. So I was on their neck like this, like every morning, the first guy that come, checking all the new stuff. And I saved some money, and I flew to the UK to buy vinyls. So the same thing, I went to all the shops in dangerous areas also of London, because I was very hungry for new music, and the newest music was on vinyl, on white labels. So I went and I did the research, and I found the guy that is distributing all the trance music in the world. He was in the UK. It was a company called Flying UK. I went to their warehouses. They put me in a room with a bundle of white labels, and said, enjoy, buy what you want.
Wow.
So I came back with a lot of new music. And with all that, nobody let me play. No, I had all the music. I had all the I knew how to mix and everything, but it's not easy when you start, you're a nobody in the business. And in the same year, my brother Tal, which I'll tell you after how it's related to me in a musical way also, he told me, hey, listen, I have this new program that you can make music on. And I was like canceling him, saying, what the fuck, man? You need a studio, you need synthesizer. Back in the day, you didn't have audio. You couldn't work on audio. You could just work on MIDI. So you have to have synthesizers and a recording machine. And like, the computer was only a recording machine. That's it. Everything else you did out of the box. Like a lot of artists like to do now these days also. Anyway, so I didn't believe him. And a week after, he came to me with a track that he produced by himself on this program. And I was shocked because it was good. It had the structure and the sounds, and it was psychedelic, and it was hard. And I was like, wow, you did that with this program? And he showed me Impulse Tracker, which was like a very, very early audio production. It looks like the Matrix. It's very ugly. It looks like a lot of numbers and letters.
Yeah, like MS-DOS or something like the green and black screen.
Exactly, right? Yeah, and it was on DOS. It wasn't even Windows.
Yes.
It's like, it looks very ugly. No graphics, no nothing. And he taught me how to use it. And I went crazy. I was like, wow, I wanted to do it 24 hours a day. That's all I wanted to do, just work on the program. And he introduced me to his friend, which was also a computer geek like my brother, which his name was Asaf Do. And Asaf Do, he already knew how to use it because he was very, the geeks know better than everyone. And he already knew everything about the program. And he started a band together called the Correlation Corporation. And this was my first project in 1997.
Wow. With your brother and with the friend?
No, just with the friend, with Asaf.
With Asaf, not with your brother.
My brother wasn't into, he was into other stuff in computers, and for him it was like always like not always, but for a while like a hobby, not a really. And I was serious. I wanted to play. I wanted to be big. From the first moment like I started producing, it opened my mind to the career. And it took us 3 tracks to sign the first track on a label, because it was easier back then, because there wasn't so many people that produced Guatrans. In all the world, there was maybe, 50, 100 producers. So people were looking for electronic music because it was booming. Everybody wanted to explore electronic music, also the label. So we signed with Phantasm Records and some Israeli label, and Crembo Records signed us, USTA signed us for a artist deal. So we started working with them, and then we started, but back in the day, it took us like maybe 2 months to make 1 track. Everything was very slow and very not professional, like in a room with normal speakers, no acoustics, no equipment, just what we had. So after a couple of years, we decided to break the band. We had like a few serious gigs. We played some big stages, but only in Israel. But we decided to break up because Asaf wasn't pursuing a career. He was like doing other stuff also. He was like a very high-tech guy, and he was into that. And then I started Hujaboy. And I started Hujaboy, which is until today. I have other projects, but it's the main project. I started it. It's a nice story. Asaf had a roommate in his apartment, and this roommate was called Eli Beaton. I don't know if you know the name.
Eli Beaton?
Eli Beaton is Pixel.
Okay.
And Pixel didn't know anything. He was like a new DJ, aspiring DJ, and he saw us like working, and he said, listen, and I didn't have a computer because the Asaf had all the equipment. And he told me, hey man, I just bought a new computer. Maybe we do a trade. You can teach me some tricks, and I'll give you the computer to use to make a track. So the first Hujaboy track was produced on Pixel's computer. It was super nice guy. Eli Beaton is amazing guy. And after that, I went back to Jerusalem because we all lived in Tel Aviv. I went back to Jerusalem and built my own studio and started like working more organized and serious. And I had a normal studio finally with this good speakers and acoustics. And I signed with Omega Records. Eyal, the great Eyal Yankovic signed me. And after 2 years, in 2002, I released the first Hujaboy album called Hujaboy. And I released with the Omega 2 albums. And from the minute I started working with Omega, everything turned really professional. Because Omega was like a greenhouse of artists. First of all, everybody was friends. Eyal, he was smart. He knew how to bring people together and how to make them help each other and influence each other. So, for example, my first album, I didn't know how to mix well. So many artists helped me. Sysex and Moshe Kenan, Xerox, and Yuli, Perfect Stranger. They all helped me mix a few tracks of the Domestic helped me with one, Ido, and he also mastered the album, I think. No, the second album he mastered. But yeah, a lot of people helped me out because Omega was like a greenhouse. Everybody helped each other with everything. So it was really amazing to be a part of such amazing, you walk from Eyal's house to Infected House. It was 2 houses away. And you have a question, you go to Ares, how do you do that? And you have a problem with you call Domestic, how do you do that? And we supported each other, and the result was a group of people that sounded really professional for the time, because of that, because of the support. And after a while, I changed my style of the music. I started with tech trance for the first album, and it didn't really catch up. It was like too hardcore for people. So many people like to listen to it, but they didn't get any bookings. And after a while, I got kind of bored with the style, and I also understood that if you want to work, you need to look at the market, what the market needs. It's not only art, it's not only what you want, it's what the people want also. You can do whatever you want and succeed, but it has a time limit on that. And I always like to look with a broad look at the scene. Try to look for the future, what the future is going to be, And then I looked at the future at the time, and I saw that full-on is like what I would like to do and what the crowd wants, and it like kind of meshed up. Me wanting to do something different, and the expectation of what was going on. I started making full-on psychedelic, my style. It was different, like all my life, and it worked. And then I started playing all over the world, like in a year, suddenly I get bookings in Japan, and really fast, like was kind of but it's not really fast because I had the few years that I was struggling, so it was building up to that. And when it happened, it happened in that. And then I started having good connections with one of my favorite labels ever, Tip Records. And I moved to Tip Records, to Rajaram and Richard back in the day, and it was for me it was a huge dream come true. I was such a fan of the label, and it was great to work with him. Rajaram is an amazing person. He's one of the rare people that it doesn't matter how you feel. If you can have a worst day in your life, you talk to him for 10 minutes, he flips you over, and you're happy. He knows how to touch people, he knows how to give them good energy in any occasion. And I love him a lot for that, for all the support all over the years, and for all the good vibes I got from him. Him and his family, and Lucas, and of course Richard, which was the label manager, which is not, he wasn't the front man, but I love him a lot for all those years, because he was like the guy managing everything and supporting the label from the inside, and making everything happen. Yeah, and I'm talking just about Hujaboy. I had other projects. I'll get to them soon. So I released 2 albums in Omega and 4 more albums with the Tip. And then I moved to 01. It's Earthlings label. I was there for a few years. And after that, I released the singles and stuff, remixes. And after that, I was I opened my own label. And I released, it's called First Contact. I released an album there and a lot of singles and stuff. And now I'm with Future Music. And I'm going to release a double album celebrating 25 years for Hujaboy. It's very exciting because the album, it's one album that I did myself and one other album that it's all collaborations with artists that I really love. So it's very, very exciting, and the work with other people was just amazing, because with the years I softened a little bit up and I became less I wouldn't say less aggressive, because the aggression that I want to release in music, I have another project for that. So Hujaboy became really much more friendly, because I have Infinity Chamber, which I released with Sangoma last year. I released one album at Sangoma Records, and all the crazy shit and all the powerful stuff and 150 BPM and the full psychedelic crazy mayhem, it's all there. And I finished that. I felt like, oh, okay, now I feel lighter, and I went to this project and start collaborating with everybody. So I made collaboration with Hallucinogen, with Simon Posford, and with Martian Arts and Modus and Rising Dust and Cosmic Flow, Mystic, Libra, many artists that I really, really, really like these days. I play almost all of them. I play here and there in my sets, and even if not, it's music that I love. So it was really fun, to make all the tracks. Nothing felt hard. Nothing was a struggle. Everything was. And Artifacts also, which is a new guy blasting from Israel at the moment. And Brain Cell. And so many artists I almost forgot. Brain Cell, which is an artist that I really love also. Yeah, and so back to other projects that I had.
Before closing, why you put the Hujaboy?
Oh, this is like a kind of okay. The last track we did is Correlation Corporation was called Hujaboy. It's Hujaboy actually. It's just it changed it with the years a little bit because easier to pronounce. It's kind of stupid story because we didn't have cell phones back in the day. We just had landlines, and everybody was smoking weed. And we had code names for weed because everybody was afraid that the police is listening to them in there. So Huja was the name of weed. And I was smoking all day, obviously. So I liked the name. I was like, Hujaboy, I want to use that name. Let's change the name for the track and I'll keep the name. And this is how it was, which is not relevant today because I don't smoke anymore. But
but back in the old days, we changed from the years. But yeah, it was a good code. So you asked like, hey, Mako, you have some Huja?
Exactly. Exactly. And Buja was hashish, was hash.
Wow.
Buja, Huja.
And you can, okay.
Yeah. Bo.
Okay, and then we can. So this is the closer for Hujaboy. That was the regions and sound you started, and
yeah, that's like leaving all the gigs aside, and because the gigging world, it's I don't know where to start and when to finish. I've been playing since the 98, like in events, so it's a lot.
Yeah, you have a lot of experience and a lot of years and a lot of you have worked with the greatest the record labels with the greatest people, with the most recognized artists as of today. Maybe they're not working with the current project, but they have new project, but they're still in the scene, and they're like
yeah, I had a project, for example, called Archon with Coxbox with Frankie, which was also a kind of a dream come true. You know, working with Simon Posford, with Hallucinogen, with Frankie, with people that were my idols. You know, when I started, and suddenly Coxbox, which I used to play when I started playing, like one of my favorites bands ever. Suddenly, I have a project with him. You know, after a few years, and it's you feel amazing, you know, that you get recognized as an artist like that, and you work with your idols, and suddenly it's a normal thing that you do that. You know, it's a daily, it's the work, it's great. It's just, it feels amazing.
Or that's the I forget how to say it. But yeah, this shows you that dreams come true. That if you work hard and you are consistent and you all work constantly, you're going to achieve what you.
Yeah, I can connect that with the things I do today. Also, aside from being a producer, I work in BPM college in Israel, in Tel Aviv. And BPM is the biggest electronic music college in Israel. Oh. And it's really professional, and it's really long time. It exists more than 20 years. And everybody in the staff there is top notch. You know, all the people have their musical career, and they also work there. For example, from our scene, Technical Hitch and Sfera are teaching in the, you know, like really from all the rainbow of styles, and we have like anyway. So the relation to that is, I'm telling the students always, the main thing is to be consistent. Is to be is like, you know, like a horse that have this on the side, so he can't look left and right. You need to be focused on your goal. You always need to have a goal, even if it's like something which is not from reality, but something that you see the picture in your mind, a vision that you can follow, and you can work towards that way, you know. And if you are consistent and you are taking music as a profession and not as a hobby, and what does it mean? It means that you work every day. If you are a doctor or a lawyer, and you go, for example, to a law school or a medical school, you will do that all day. So with music, if you want to be professional, if you want to be good, it have to be the first thing that comes in your mind every day. It has to be like the main thing for you, like, and you have to put the hours. You have to put the hours. If you can afford 3 hours, then do that. If you can afford 8 hours, do that. And don't wait for inspiration to come. If you are not inspired, it doesn't mean you don't have to do the work. You know, you have to sit. And if you don't feel it, you know, you look at the screen and you're like, nothing is happening. Of course, it doesn't come all the time. So if nothing's happening, make something, even if it's not good for you. Play with the effects. Do something that is turning you on, you know, and you'll see the inspiration is coming after half an hour, after 1 hour, or not even the same day, but a day later. But you learn something. You move yourself forward. You're not stuck in the same looking and doing nothing, and then feeling depressed or frustrated. So yeah, it's if you take it seriously, you get to your goals, and you have the vision, and you take all the hours, you work towards it, you will get somewhere.
Yeah, I fully understand. And I didn't know you were a teacher also, so...
Yeah, I'm actually not teaching so much. I do lectures. I'm in charge of the electronic music courses. Okay. I'm like the head of the EMP, it's called, Electronic Music Production. So it's a 1-year course which is it covers everything that would make you a producer. It's not you're not really getting into genres, but you learn everything about from sound recording to sound production to what a compressor is, mixing and mastering, music theory, and more.
That's great.
Yeah, so I do one lecture every third semester on the music business, because I had experience. I was managing sonic booking, so I know a lot about bookings, and I have labels, so I know about the industry and everything. And I've been a performing art. I am a performing artist, so I can tell them about from both sides, from the booking agency part and from the artist side, and from the artist to the label, and from the label to the artist. So I've been in every hat. So this is the lecture is about how it is, how to approach labels, how to not approach labels, what are the common mistakes people do. And in all the years, I managed a techno label for 8 years also, so I know like a bit the difference between the scenes, how people act in different scenes, and it's not the same. It's just different, So I do that. It's a 2 hours lecture, but it's like a kind of discussion, because I want people to ask me questions, because they are going to the students are going to the world now, so they need to know the realities. It's not only the music; it's also the business, and you need to know that as a young producer.
Yeah, you can give a master class for a lot of this. No, you have a lot of experience, and you have worked with the best. And in the best, and been in all over the world. So you have.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, and that's a proof that you have been working now 25 or more than 25 years, because it's Hujaboy.
25 is Hujaboy.
Yeah, Hujaboy. So it's more. So you have a lot of experience. And okay, if you want, we can continue with other projects, and then I want to make like some questions, because this podcast can help a lot.
Let's do the questions now. It's okay.
Okay. But for example, we were talking about projects that they were big in some place, and now they stop playing, because it happens.
It happened to me.
It happened to you because you started playing, and then something happened.
2009, the full-on almost disappeared from the face of the earth. And a lot of people that like me that used to work all the time, touring the world a lot. Like I had like crazy years before 2009. I played a lot, and then everybody wanted to listen to progressive, and then you have no booking. Suddenly everything stops, and it's a very fast process. It takes like a year, and then you're out kind of the game if you're not adapting or changing. And I didn't do the adaptation because I was more interested in techno back in the day, and I said, okay, trance is not working for me. I saved some money, I invested in a techno label and started doing other stuff. But for me it was a mistake, because I should have, if I look back, I should have maybe done something like a side project which was more fitted the time, because I love psytrance, and you can put your style inside something maybe a little bit slower or more open, and I learned from that. I think if the wind will change, I will be ready for that next time.
Yeah, well, here we got some a question that I have for myself. Right now, psytrance is okay, it's going back and a lot of parties, but also melodic techno 2024. If people saying it before or after 2025 or 2026. Right now is melodic techno. It's like a very, very heavy genre. What do you recommend to an artist, for example, a psytrance artist, that he knows the production, he knows how to mix, he knows to do everything, but he's seeing that the bookings went down and melodic techno is top?
Well, this is something that is there's a lot of aspects to look at it, because first of all, melodic techno is a kind of close to psytrance. It's not so far away. I mean, the production is different, yeah, but like the music, it can be related to older genres of progressive, and the way of the production is, if you're a sidetrans producer, it's possible for you to make it with a little adaptation. Of course, you need to learn a little bit of different tricks with production, but it's not so hard to learn that these days, because there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube and a lot of people that teach that. But professionally, I think there's two ways to look at it. The first way is to understand that you are not from the scene. You are not from the melodic techno scene. And even if you are a seasoned artist, like if you have like 15 years of producing and you know how to make the genre, it will take you time to build your name, because you are not swimming in the same swimming pool. So every artist that got to a point that is successful in melodic techno, he worked on that for many years. And it wouldn't be easy they would make room for you that easily to get inside that scene and to be successful there. It will take you a few years. So you keep that in mind. Hey, I want to do melodic techno, but maybe it will take me 3 or 4 years that I wouldn't make any money from music, and I couldn't make a living out of it, and I wouldn't get any gigs because I need to build my name. And maybe after 3 or 4 years, melodic techno is not the genre that is successful anymore, because in the club scene it changed much more faster than in trance. In trance, the shifts are slow. Every 10 years, 15 years, one genre gets stronger and the other, and it's slow because people still have work, even if it's a little bit, and in the club scene, it can happen like 2-3 years melodic techno, then it goes to deep house, then it goes to the other, And what I really recommend is to try and build your name in the scene that you are very strong in, and the scene that you have your heart is there. If your heart is in the melodic techno scene, go for it. If not, maybe you should consider that, because I think from what I know until now, the really successful producers are the producers that are really love the genre, and not looking at it like it's now this is a good thing to do, let's do that. Not the shapeshifters, It's not total what I'm saying. It's not but it's for example, I asked very, very, very successful artist from the EDM. I won't say a name, but like he was making a kind of cheesy stuff, and I was like always like amazed, like very, very successful. How he can like that, how he can, and I talked to him and I said, man, how do you continue to make the style that is so like childish, and it's so like that, and still, and then he told me, listen, I really love it. I love what I'm doing. This is the thing, and I think that is a big thing about why people are so successful. For example, Tristan really loves what he does. It's like the music he produces. His heart is 100% in there, and I think it's the essence of his success. Except he's a great guy and people love him and shirt off and everything. But I mean,
yeah, right.
The essence of his success is his love for music, and for the scene, and he's there, and you can feel it when he's performing. You can see that he's in the moment, So my recommendation is do what you love, and try to focus on that, but also look at what's happening on the scene. Go to parties, see what works, and try and see what's the next thing. For example, until a while ago, Hujaboy was more of like rolling basses and 145s, all the tracks, and like really blasting stuff. And aside that, I was kind of a little bit bored of that style. Because it was I felt like I'm doing the same thing all the time. And I was looking for what's next. what's next, what's happening. And now my style is all like square basses and gliding basses and stuff like that, which makes the build of the music different, and it opens your mind to different kind of flow in the tracks, and from this flow the sets are becoming different, and from playing usually in the nights in events, I find myself playing in the daytime more because the music is more open. So, and part of that was thinking about what's in the future, and I think now this style is now it's a big thing. But like I started doing that, not only me, but few artists like, I don't know, Freedom Fighters or Modus or Libra. We started that many years ago because we felt like it's great, and it's like the great next thing maybe. And now it shows that it is, like there's more and more people that like this style.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I asked you because you have students that they want to follow your example and be in the music business. Times have changed. We're used like to build the brand, to build the name, to build everything from scratch, start. But now the society asks for quicker results.
Yeah, short videos of gigs.
Yeah, short videos, and I imagine that you get that questions. How do I get to a big festival in 1 week or in 1 month?
Wow, it's a hard question because it's combined from a few aspects. One is first of all the music. Let's say that you are making great music, relevant music for the time. Your production is flawless and your mastering is great and everything is great about your music, okay? For the time. But it's not. It doesn't mean you're gonna play anywhere. Because why? Because you need the contacts for the promoters, and you need the marketing and the public relations that will get you known. That will. I mean, if I'm a promoter and I'm looking at your music and I hear it's great, but you don't have any following. So you're not selling tickets in a way, So some people look at it like that. Some promoters just care about the art, but most of the promoters look at sales because it's their life, their investment, their business. So you need to get people to know your music, and to do that, you need to invest. You need to invest in a good logo, in a good appearance of the project. You need to think about what the project will say to people when they are thinking about it. For example, let's give a good example, Skazi. You think about Skazi, you think about the logo. You remember the logo, you remember he's an artist in marketing, for example. So
yeah.
So you are it says something to rock and roll, all the vibe that he used to represent back in the day. So you need to think about what you want. You need to write in words. What is Hujaboy, for example? What is it? What's my plan for it? What does it mean for me? What I want people to think about it. You need to think about who is your crowd. After you do all this research between you and then the computer and ChatGPT or whatever, you come up with what you really are, and this is your face. As you make a logo, and from the logo you continue to I don't know, video clips. If you're playing gigs, of course, you need to shoot every single gig. Make as much videos as you can. Sometimes it's like short ones with a friend that will take the phone and make reels out of it, because this has changed really fast. It could be from the time we are talking about this podcast until it airs that the algorithm will be different, and then from small movies you have to make something different.
Yeah, because for that on this year reels were pretty popular, but now I see that they want full DJ sets.
Okay, yeah. The algorithm is changing.
Yeah,
because
and I was amazed with that.
yeah, it depends also which platform. One platform want, like YouTube, they want the long sets or something, and then TikTok, they want. I'm just saying names.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but TikTok wants 15 seconds. So you need to adapt all the time, or you need to pay someone that will adapt for you. Like there are people that are doing the marketing for social media. You can pay someone like that, and he will do the targeting and marketing for you. They can tell you, listen, and now the algorithm is changed because they're onto that. They live this life, so they know what the social media needs are. So social media, in one word, you need to make your social media adaptable for the whatever is going on. And the most important thing, I think, is still the human thing. With all the digital world, with all how we live, we are still human. So you need to make networking, you need to make contacts, real life contacts. I mean, if you talk to a promoter online, it's not the same if you had a beer with him or her. It's not the same vibe, because we are still human. We still look for the human contact. And it still means a lot if I sit down with you and have a conversation like now, or if we just said it online. It's a different story.
Yeah, for sure.
So network, make contacts all the time, and don't be shy. Talk to everyone. Try and make as much contact as you can with promoters, with other DJs, with everybody, with fans. Everybody that's related to the scene, because you don't know where the next gig will come from. Sometimes it's from a fan. A fan is a friend of the promoter in a country that you really want to go to. And suddenly this fan talked to the promoter and said, hey man, I have killer music. You have to book him. And you know that. You heard this conversation. You know it's...
Yeah.
It's sometimes it works like that. And so, yeah, my biggest recommendation is expand your networking relentlessly. And it's not easy, because you don't want to, sometimes you don't feel like harassing people online saying, hey, how are you? I'm a musician. But it's the work.
Yeah, well, how do you recommend the approach, on the digital approach?
That's a question of questions, because first of all, don't take anything personally. Start from the negative, delete the negative. Don't take anything personally. If you send someone a message and he doesn't answer you, maybe he's busy. Maybe he's shopping. Maybe he's had a fight with his girlfriend. He's not available for that. So if someone ignores you, so it's maybe get 20 messages like yours in the same day, and he doesn't want to talk to anyone. So what? It's not personal. And try as much as you can to talk to as much people as you can, but the approach should be always the way that you would like people to approach you. Let me give you a negative example.
Okay.
A negative example would be, hi, I'm Moshe. I come from Israel. I have this project, blah blah blah. You write a long message, then you put a link. Nobody will read this message, and nobody will press the link. Why? The good example for something like this from real life is you walk in the street, someone gives you a promotion of something. 95% you don't read it, and you throw it in the trash can. It's the same. It's the same thing. When you attack someone like that, it takes all the interest away. We are human, and what we like from people is a human approach and interest. For example, if you start talking to someone, first of all, hi, how are you? First question, and if a conversation start a conversation. Don't attack with promotion and the first words. After, I don't know, you spoke with the person a little bit, and you get to the point that you feel you can. You don't put a link, you ask. would you like to listen to someone? Can I send you something to listen to? And if he says yes, you can send. Sometimes he will say no. Sometimes he will ignore it. Sometimes the conversation will end there. But don't take it personally. Continue on. Make more contacts. Maybe talk to the guy a week after. Say, how are you? Again, don't start with promotion. Because we are human. And we don't like people stuffing things in our face, you know?
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, but that's a very good sample with people from the streets. So when they're trying to sell you something, or then send you like big messages, sometimes you're busy and you're not going to read it, and then you forgot about it. But yeah, the human contact. Hey, how are you? How you been?
This is in personal messages.
Yeah. But for example, on my example that I make the podcast, and many people doesn't know me.
Yeah.
It's like if I start a personal, maybe they will not last. But sometimes I want to go to the point. So it's like
you need to feel it. It's also
for me it's complex, at least for the invitations. Sometimes it's easier to reach to somebody because I already interview a friend of a friend of a friend, and it's easier. But it doesn't know you like nothing. It's like a coin.
I recommend for you. I don't know if you're doing that or not. Is maybe to try and do that with emails, because when you are reaching the professional connections in the scene, people communicate with emails. After they started to make a personal contact, then they move to like WhatsApp or whatever. But usually it's better to start with an email because it makes you look more like a professional company. You know, like.
Yeah, there were some artists that they ask for emails. For example, I can say Tycoon. They asked me for an email.
Yeah. It's a bit old school, but it's how it works. And I mean, for example, in all the booking agencies, the communications is usually the real ones, the official ones are with emails, because people are blasted with messages every day from everywhere, from Messenger, from WhatsApp, from Instagram. You are blasted getting especially if you are a booking agent, for example, or managing a label. So you're having people messaging you all the time. Usually in messages you don't remember, because you get a lot of them. But email, it's there, and you come in the morning and you see all the emails that you have, and you start answering that, and it doesn't pop away from your head.
Yeah, I will try to do it. There are well, at least on the sidetrends scene, I personally I'd reach them from Instagram or Facebook, more Instagram than Facebook, because Instagram is like my account, and Facebook I have the BitControllers account and my personal account. So yeah, sometimes it's like complex. Many artists I know them, but maybe artists I don't. So I send a message on Instagram because if they click, they see the followers, and I always upload pictures with all the. Besides my music, I always post with all the interviews, and sometimes they hey, I saw that you interview this artist. Hey, great.
Yeah.
But some they don't read it, and other ones they like manage me to the email, because not everybody has like an email on or a website or something to reach when you look into social media.
Yeah.
Because if I go to Spotify,
it's hard sometimes to get.
Yeah.
But this is also going back to the first contact that you make. Maybe it's like some people, not everybody likes the practical approach. So you write like a couple of like 2 lines, like, hey, how are you? My name is Laura. I have this podcast. Could you send me your email and I can send you more information? And that's it. It's very practical and fast. And some people are like, if they're very busy and going through many stuff in the day, maybe it will work for, I don't know what you do. So like exactly.
No.
Maybe you do that already.
No. I really don't. And I'm telling you, most contacts are because I know the promoters, and for example, with Omixis, I've been working with them since last year when we did the interview, and they give me green light to interview the talents from all the omics parties. Yeah, sometimes they reach me, or when they go to my city, or with close friends. For example, if I wanted to interview, maybe if I didn't know that you were from Libra, but I already interviewed Libra. I have his WhatsApp and I have everything. Hey, can I say, hey, do you know Nir? Can you tell him? Or with other artists, it's sometimes easier. But for example, when you were talking about dreams, when I started this podcast, one, I love the scene. I love psytrance and I love music, and I have met wonderful people like you, like Alrededor. Like it's always the way to tell. I'm from Mexico, north of Mexico, close to Texas. It's very complex that you and me, you from Jerusalem, like sit and have a talk.
And then always amazing.
And then take a beer is like, what the fuck? It's very difficult. My dream will be like my inspiration is when I was a heavy metal guy. That's the reason I play the guitar and everything. I started listening to Asterix and to Skazi and to Infected Mushroom. For me, it's my dream to. I have the opportunity to play with Skazi and with Infected Mushroom in several occasions. They know me and everything. When I talked to Wes, he played in my city and I played with him. He gave me the email. Even though he knows me and he has played with me and he knows what I do, is like, and I show obviously the artists, like, hey, I've been with Michelle Adamson and good name artists. He told me, okay, send me an email. And when we talked with Asher, we took a picture together and we were like taking a beer, and he told me, yeah, for sure, come to Tel Aviv, and because he's a very relaxed guy. And he told me, yeah, but he doesn't give me an email. He told me, okay, here's my number. When you go to Tel Aviv, we can schedule it. And in fact, he told me, okay, send me an email.
Some people are more official. Some people are more easygoing. It depends on the person. But the more busy you get, it's it's harder to keep up, because it could, for example, I'm just guessing, but he could Kaskazi could meet you, and then he could go to 10 other cities in 1 month.
For sure.
So it's for me it would be crazy in times that I'm fully busy like that. Like I need the organization. So for example, I would give you my email, because otherwise I would forget about it. And I like to follow up with things. I like to follow up with contacts I have, and to keep them, like, back to the networking. So it's really important to do that.
I will follow your tip or your advice for sure.
What about your project?
For beat controllers, it's funny, because when I started in 2009, in difference to many artists, I started from 0 to 100, because back in the old days we were three members. One, I am an engineer. I studied in the engineering degree with some other friend that had another friend that was a DJ, and both of them were DJs. They invited me to make a track, but just to put the guitar. And the track was very popular in my city.
So it exploded?
It exploded. So 28 days after the track was released, I was playing with Infected Mushroom and Skazi from playing 0
that was fast
to 7,000 7,000 persons. So the name was very popular in 1 month, beat controllers. So we started making music. I didn't know how to make psytrance. These guys started to make psytrance, but they were experts. And psytrance was very full-on, was very popular in Mexico. So I thank all the DJ that came on that. I got classes from Faders, from Fanatic, from
cool guys.
From Didi, from Stas, from Apocalypse. They came a lot to our cities, and they teach us. So the project exploded. One member left because he told me, okay, we don't have any time, so I only stay with Danny. And then he got married, and he told me, okay, I cannot make music anymore because I got to get money for the living, and he started like several projects, and we still keep in touch. And he made a collaboration with Steve Aoki and with Timmy Trumpet. So
wow,
yeah,
he's big, huh?
Yeah, he's big. He exploded. He lives in Miami right now, and he's still being a friend.
Very nice.
And long story short, I continued the project, then the full-on died. This is what I knew how to do.
Yeah.
And like I stopped like for 2 to 3 years. Then I talked to Moshe, to Intersys, and he told me, why do you stop making music? Because you were good and you play the guitar and you give like a good message to the people. And he became very spiritual, and he told me like, God give you that talent so you can show to the people.
No, that's very nice.
Yeah, so that like blew my mind. Like, yeah, because I started just doing engineering stuff, and I was in the automotive industry, and I make a master's degree in finance, and I was like too much into the regular life. And when he told me that, I remember that I went into bed and I started like crying, like what that was a very deep message for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me take restart everything. Let me what is happening, what is sounding. So I saw that content was popular at that time. It was 2014, 2015. So I started like making videos with a guitar. So I took like tracks from friends and put like a solo and everything, and that gave me like exposure. Like, oh, I have beat controllers. I remember the guy from the guitar. Now he's playing, because I know how to make music. I know how to. And then like life was happy with me again, and I played with Infected Mushroom again in my city in 2015. Nice. It was in January. Nice. So I go back like very strong. Like you see my pictures again, and picture with Eris and Dubdev, and then a massive party, and then I guess it started. But I understand, and I this is it to all the people. Maybe I'm not the most talented producer or guitar player or whatever, but I love what I do. And what I do is like, okay, I expand the portfolio. I start like making videos with a guitar from artists. I always ask for permission, like, hey, can I make a remix? And most all the DJs, they don't tell me like, hey, do it, be my guest. I like it, so I do, and I start like getting more followers and more followers and more followers. And I have like 2 to 3 videos, one from Blastoise, one from Vinivici that I play. It was like 1,500 reproductions in Facebook. So Kobe told me like, wow, this is crazy. And then I took a track from Fanatic, and I make like sweep picking with the lead with the guitar, and all of them posted them, and it was like, man, this is crazy. So I get a lot of and then I make a remix to I Wish from Infected, and they posted like on their official page.
Amazing.
Yeah, so they know me. They ask, man, this is killer. Let me put it on my. And then I started the podcast because I really like to talk, and I really like to listen to new people. I like to learn. I'm a guy that likes to read a lot. I like about the physics and philosophy and esotericism and sales and marketing, because I love to learn new stuff. And when this started in 2023, but I had the idea since 2022. But I was like, I don't know how to make a podcast, because I'm an engineer. I'm not nothing to do with. I know how to record and to edit, but this is something different.
Yeah.
So long story short, I study how to microphones and everything, and then I start to pitch the idea with some friends. What do you think about it? And they tell me, oh, there's no podcast for psytrance, at least in Mexico.
Yeah.
And thank God I have a lot of contacts, and I started like, okay, let me record some episodes and see how it goes. And right now I have 67 episodes out, and
wow.
It was good. It was good reception. But sometimes it's difficult, like, to approach to artists.
Yeah, but that's the job. Like, I mean, in every work that you can imagine, even if, I don't know, you sell something, it's how to get to the client, how to get to the, I don't know, to a business partner. It's work. You just need to do the work. So you get 10 no's and 1 yes, and this 1 yes is a yes, is a success. You know, it's happening.
Yeah, and with music, I continue making music. Yes, I like to go to parties because I listen to you, and I listened to other artists, and it was like I need to improve my production. So
it's endless.
Yeah, it's endless, but
It's endless. You learn all the time.
but
evolve all the time.
I need to do something different because I think it's Edu makes my master since long time ago. Domestic. I would be a pleasure to. I never met him personally, but WhatsApp friends, we're very good friends because he always make my master.
Yeah, he's a really, really, really cool guy.
Yeah, and he came to Mexico City, but I didn't have the opportunity to travel and to make the podcast to him. But yeah, I would love to, or when I go to Israel, make like a podcast with him. But yeah, I really need to work, but sometimes it's difficult to continue everything, like make the content, do the music, and the podcast.
It's a profession.
Yeah, it's a profession.
If you think about it, let's say that you have a construction company. You can have making small houses all your life and work very hard and not evolve. Or you can dream about building skyscrapers and start to understand the steps that you need to do. And one of the steps, like you said, is getting better production all the time. It's endlessly learning. For example, I also make mixing and mastering for many years. And I always think that I reach a point that I'm really very good in what I'm doing. And then I hear Ido, for example, or other, and then I see, wow, I have a lot to learn. And I don't look at it from like an angry, jealous look. I look at it as in the next goal, I try to be positive about it. And this is how I don't feel bitter, like I am not as good. It's not, for me, it's not, I'm not in a competition, I always learn from better people.
Yeah.
It's the way to grow, to evolve. And for example, since I started working in the college, the music college, I go into lessons to see, to check on the teachers there, because it's my job, and to see if the students are happy and all that. And I learn when I sit down I can learn from anyone who's a professional, So all the teachers there are super professional. And so I learned a lot new methods from Technical Age about mastering and mixing, for example. And from others, people that teach there. And I evolve all the time, even now. In the last year, I made a jump with my production that I thought, with the years you think you're good enough, but it's not like that. There's always better. So you can always aspire to be better in what you do. And it's important to look at it in a positive way and not in I'm not good enough, or I'm not. It's okay if someone is better than you all the time. It's life. There will always be someone is better than you, and it's a good thing because it can make you better if you aspire to learn more and more and more and more. And that's a good thing about you because you like to learn.
Yeah, I love to. Yeah, and right now I download a lot of courses. Groove 3 and Udemy are the two brands that I download. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I produce in Logic. So one recommendation that gave me Talamasca and Major 7 was read from other genres. Maybe you will use a trick.
Of course.
From a genre.
Always.
So sometimes I download, I don't know, techno production or minimal or progressive.
Of course, always try to evolve, and evolution doesn't come from your own genre. You always get the inspiration from outside, because if you just listen to one kind of music and learn techniques from one style, you got stuck, and you make the same thing again. You need to get inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah, so what is that? That's what I do, but I really need to. Yeah, I continue launching music, and thanks to that podcast and everything, yeah, I got more relevancy and people knows me more. Mm-hmm. You see, maybe I don't have 25 years of career, you more, but I have around 12 or 13. But many people from the Mexican industry knows me, and now the podcast helped me a lot, because now it's funny because they reach to me, and instead of telling me for the latest track, they tell me for the episode that they like it.
Okay.
So I say, okay, it's good.
That's a good game and a risky game also for a career, because a lot of things today are social media, for example. So if you are very good in telling about yourself to people and being you become a celebrity, and maybe people will book you because you're a celebrity and not because of the music that you make. And it's risky because they see you as something that will sell tickets, obviously, but it's something that they would sometimes they would book you because you are a good musician. I'm not saying it's about you. I'm saying about the risk, because I've seen that happen to a friend of mine, also no names, and some bookings he got were the wrong ones, and like he came to the wrong event because he was like a very good celebrity, so sometimes it has nothing to do with the crowd that you're gonna play for, and it's very disappointing when you come to a gig and you play the music nobody cares.
Yeah, thank God that I don't have that as of today. If it happens, I will call you.
Oh, it happened to me in the past without being a celebrity many times.
For sure.
the wrong booker.
Yeah, no, since I play full on and I play tracks, my original also from friends, and since I play the guitar, I think that's like...
People accept that, expect that.
Yeah, expect, and they like it. Like, for example, I see Bliss and I say Scassi, and yesterday I went into the bass line that was like very far, and I was over there like jumping and playing, and people like it, and I got very good reception. But yesterday I can tell you, like, it was like 50-50. Like lots of people going to me and like, can I take a picture? And yeah, sure. And you play the guitar great, and I see you great. But other guys were like, I love the episode that you made with.
Yeah, I think it's positive. It's a positive thing.
I like it, but personally, I can tell you sometimes I'm worried because, and it was something that I've been talking with several persons that I interview, is like, the podcast has been growing a lot. My numbers in social media has grown a lot, but when I launch a track, for example, if I post a picture with you for the podcast, I can bet you that Instagram is going to have over 1,000 likes, and Facebook more or less. In the episode, I can bet 30, 40, 50 reproductions. YouTube around 5,000, because I only have like 7,000 subscribers in YouTube as of today. But if I launch a track, they get like 200 likes, 300 likes.
Still good.
It's good, but it doesn't compare with the other. And the video on Facebook will get like 10,000 plays. So it's like, like I also want.
It's good. It's good numbers, man.
Yeah, but also in Spotify, I want to get like good numbers, but it doesn't translate that much. I'm working.
I think it's like having a few aspects of promoting your project is always good if you can. But you need to also focus on the project and not give like too much of like on the podcast, for example. If your aim is to promote the project more via the podcast, so you need to be careful with that.
Yeah, the thing is that the podcast is every week, and a track I can launch it like one track every 2 months.
Yeah.
I cannot launch a track every week. It's like very complex. It will not sound good.
Yeah. It's this all the whole idea. For example, the album the double album I'm going to release. There's no sense in releasing it all together, like I don't know, the 18 tracks at once, because the marketing life of anything you release has like the same thing if it's one track or 18 tracks. So I'm dividing it to a few releases, so people will have time to digest, and I have more releases to market, more things instead of like it once. So, like you said, it has no sense to releasing a track every week. But yeah, I think it's if you get the numbers that you said for the tracks, it's good. Don't compare it to the podcast.
Yeah, but
You get good numbers.
yeah. But I'm looking to have like better numbers, because if for example, if you're a promoter,
Get a show in Ozora and or a big festival in Europe. Hopefully, it will happen for you, and you will get it.
yeah. But well, that's also a question, also personal, but many people ask. How do you book into such a big festival?
It's for me. It wasn't easy. I mean, I worked many years until I got into the festival scene. I played all over the world, and I was very successful in playing in Brazil and Japan, but the big festivals were never booking me until I don't know. My first one was 2009, I think. It was VUV, the first big festival in Europe. And I got this gig only from a personal contact that I had that knew the organizers. And the same thing with Ozora. The Ozora, I got an email of Vega, one of the organizers, from a friend of mine, which had a personal contact from Osho. And then I started sending music, and after not even the first year, maybe the third year I was sending the music, they booked me. And since then, it was success, so they booked me further with the years. We became friends. Again, the networking thing. So actually, some festivals, not all, but the important festivals were kind of the first contact with them was through networking. This is why it's so important. Because think about it, if you are making a festival like Ozora, think about the amount of people that's sending you music. You're getting blasted with people from all over the world, from clueless children that make a first track that say, I want to play in your festival, to really big artists that you never booked, and they're really keen. So how can you even start to, understand how to understand which one is good and which one fits your... So yeah, networking, that's the issue with festivals. Contacts. Use the contacts, and if let me give you a good example. I never played in Boom Festival. They never booked me. But I'm sending Boom Festival every year or two. I'm sending the music in the time that they are accepting it. And if there's a festival in Australia, like Esoteric, I never played, and I'm really keen to play. It doesn't matter how long I'm in the scene. I'm like every other artist for them. Like if they don't book you, with the thought in the beginning. So I'm applying. I'm putting the ego aside, and I'm sending music every year, and I don't care if they say no, because I'm here for a marathon, not for a short run. So if not this year, the next year. If not 10 years, maybe 15 years.
But how do you structure the email? Like first, okay.
Oh, that's important.
Yes.
Very, very short. Very, very short. Two lines on you. Hi, I'm this and that. 2 lines. I would love to take part in your event. Here is the music. You put a set or a track or whatever. And these are my social media accounts. I would love to hear from you soon. That's it. Very, very short. If you put a long biography, nobody reads it, because they get a lot.
Yeah.
And the same with labels. When you're selling music to labels, keep it short. If they have interest in your music, they will ask you everything about it. You can tell them everything on your life story on a podcast.
You send a podcast from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. No, yeah, that's very cool, and I want to thank you, because we can make a master class of business.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, but well, you share a lot of recommendations. I always ask the recommendations to from you to the audience, because most of them are DJs and producers, and they follow you and they want to be successful and want to grow, and maybe nobody has like the magic wand, like, okay, you need to do this and this, or the magic book.
Nobody, yeah. Even another thing that I say about, I also teach production private lessons, so I am telling the young producers usually, everything I tell you is not the final word, even in production and in the business. I can tell you that you have to do this and that to succeed, but you can find maybe your own way to do it better, always. And this is a good tip, because you can listen to all the advice you get from professionals, and you can like use, how do you call it when you filter it.
No, yeah.
You filter it and you take the what's right for you.
Okay. Yeah. You take what you can do. There's sometimes that you don't understand, or maybe you don't feel it. Yeah. So before closing, you told me that you make sessions like every several time, like 2-hour sessions.
Mm-hmm.
What are the most common questions that you receive?
There's too many.
But at least the top 3.
How to you ask them? You ask about how to get gigs.
Okay.
How to make it from the first step to the next step in marketing, and in that aspect. Yeah, that's the main thing that people are interested in. Also, like about the dealing with labels, how to approach them, because this is a hard thing. Because what people need to understand, that in every label there's a person in the end, in the other side. And like I said before, you need to communicate to people, and not to communicate. It's not a robot in the other side, it's a person. And you need not to take it personally, because people are sometimes not so nice, and they can answer you aggressively because they had a bad day, and you need to put that on the side and think about your goal, what you want from them. You want from them to release your music. So even if it wasn't a little bit not nice, you can ignore it and continue a conversation with a good vibe. And something we didn't touch, which is one of the most important things, is relevance. Let's say I love melodic techno, really love, and there's a certain label that I adore, and wow, it's so good, but I'm producing psytrance, and I made in my psytrance some little bit melodic techno sounds, or I made the BPM a little bit lower, but I still produce psytrance. If I send this label the music, it's irrelevant. It's not the music they are searching for. So the first moment that they listen to it, if they listen to it, they're good. If they got to listening to it, the first thing that they will do, they will put you on the spam. So next time you send, they don't even see it. Why? Because you send irrelevant music. So even if you're in the psytrance scene and you make psytrance, and you send, for example, Nano Records, a track that is irrelevant in the style, because you make full-on, like old school full-on, you'll be probably ignored next time. Why? Because it's not relevant. So you need to make research when you're sending music to labels. You need to focus, try to keep neutral ear to your music, and see if your music really fits the label. And even if it does fit, maybe you should listen to their DJs and listen to what the DJs play, because sometimes the label is releasing music, kind of this music now, but the future for them is a little bit different, and what the DJs are playing now is the future of the label. So you need to make research. Don't be lazy. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking in general.
No.
Don't be lazy, and listen to music, listen to what the label is releasing, and ask even your friends, am I in the same style? Because sometimes you think you make a sound like, I don't know, FM, like Nano style, but it's the only sound that is like the Nano style. All the bass lines are different and all this. So you need to be relevant with the music that you send. It's the so important, and in the techno scene, it's 10 times more important. Because there they don't have any patience for you if you're not on point. And also the production now, the baseline production of people are very high at the moment. People are sending music to labels which is already mixed and mastered in the most top engineers, or they are very good engineers themselves. So try and give your first impression with the best sounding track you can do. Send it to an engineer if you're not good enough, or work on it a little bit more to make it sound as good. Because think about it, it's like this. They have these shows on TV that the star is coming and is starting to sing, and they judge him on the same second on the first note, and even if he faked something or it doesn't work, they say, okay, go home and the next one. It's like this with the music that you send. The first note they hear, if the production is good, they continue to listen. They say, hey, there's something interesting here, because the production is like the first impression. So it's important.
Wow, very, very nice advice. Yeah, and I understand that about research and not being lazy. Yeah, you need to take time. This is a profession, as you tell,
Exactly.
It's a marathon. You need to train every day.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to think about that you're running for the long term. So if you can't let a little injuries, let's call it like that, influence you. If you have problems with you don't make enough money, so you take another job, but you continue to run the marathon, you continue to produce, you continue to find the time to do it. If you aim high.
Yeah, well, Nir, I want to thank you for this masterclass.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for accepting. I know that we were tired. We played yesterday. It was a long play, but
That's good.
yeah, but I only knew why Hujaboy and you played yesterday, but I didn't know that you have all this career and all this background. And it's good that you do mixing and mastering, because a lot of people ask me like, who makes mixing and mastering, and now from what I compare from all the podcasts, I can tell that like I personally would work with Edu, but now you can work with Nir.
Yeah, with me, with technical itch, with many artists that are. It depends on the style that you like, because we all do different stuff. We mix differently. Everybody has a different ear, different studio, different techniques. So the result is it's about relevance again. What's relevant for your music?
Yeah. But it's good that they have another option, so they can reach you and what are your social media? Where can people look your music, follow your career?
I'm quite active in social media, like my Instagram. Just Hujaboy. If you look for Hujaboy, you see directly the results, because nobody calls himself this stupid name. That's stupid funny. Anyway, so I'm there and I'm active.
Okay, I will send all the people to your. You don't use Facebook or YouTube or TikTok?
I use Facebook. I'm more active in Instagram and Facebook than others. TikTok a little bit, because it's more, it's regional. TikTok, it's more regional it shows most of your posts in the area that you live in. So
yeah.
That's why I like Instagram more. It's more worldwide,
Yeah, and YouTube, do you use it or?
Not enough. My YouTube is not. So I didn't have time to work on that. It's a shame. But usually in YouTube I put all my full sets from festivals. I have sets from Ozora and from France, and so if you want to check out full sets from with videos, you can check on YouTube.
Yeah, it's what I was telling you. I read a lot of new trends in marketing, because what I do, like now make the clips and everything. Now people likes to watch like full sets in YouTube, and there was a paper where it stated like different artists, how it was created, and then I start like you said, research, and I say, wow, people like to see full sets, because I don't do it. I do after movies of 1 minute 30 for reels.
It's always changing, it's always evolving with the algorithm. So
yeah, when I saw that, it was like, fuck, I didn't record all the full set from yesterday, because it was a good party and everything. But yeah, okay, maybe then the next time I will do it, but at least it's a new consideration. Maybe next month it dies, but right now it's what is trending. So, well, thank you very much for your time, for all your experience and knowledge. I will be very happy to then have a second part, like more into masterclass, because a lot of people wants to learn more. And maybe next time if I go to Israel, you have time, it will be an honor.
Let's hope the peace will come and you will come. And
yeah. Come with an hour, the masterclass about because a lot of people have a lot of questions, but thank you for sharing your knowledge. Let me close the episode in Spanish. A todos los que escucharon o vieron este capítulo, sigan a Hujaboy en todas sus redes sociales, como quiera, aquí se los comparto en Facebook, en YouTube, en Instagram. Denle like y compartan para que esto siga creciendo, y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego, gracias.